Hello and welcome to 3.0 TV. This is Manoj Dara. So, Ethereum Ecosystem has come out with its business readiness report at a time when the system is preparing for the merge. So, to explain this entire business readiness report for our viewers, we have invited two special guests. Let me introduce you to Mr. Samrat Kishor. He is the Regional Head of Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, joining us from Malaysia. Samrat, welcome on Crypto TV.
Thank you, Manoj, for having me once again.
And our second guest is Tom Lyons, Senior Communication Specialist, Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, and he is joining us from Switzerland. Tom, welcome on Crypto TV.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
So my first question to Tom is, if you can just take us through this Ethereum Business Readiness Report, what is the main objective behind it, and what is the main intention and the target it intends to achieve?
Yeah, sure. I would be glad to. So we have two main objectives with this business readiness report. We wanted to educate the business community outside the crypto bubble on the sort of state of the business Ethereum ecosystem. We focus very much on what we call business Ethereum. So the use of Ethereum and the Ethereum related technology sort of outside the usual speculative use cases like DeFi or the fintech use cases like DeFi and stuff. And we wanted to talk about who's building, what's the state of being able to build business solutions on Ethereum. And we also wanted to do some original research in that direction. And maybe I'd like to point out that this is very much based on some quantitative research. So we did some market research into the state of business projects, but it's also very much a qualitative report. So we did a lot of interviews and we did a bunch of case studies, and we'd like to get this sort of view from the ground.
Fantastic. So a lot of interviews, a lot of case studies, and the main objective is to look forward. Samrat, what is your opening remarks on this? I'm
really, really happy when this report was recently published, and it's serving 2 or 3 big purposes, Manoj. One is, as Tom rightly pointed out, is educating the community outside of the current bubble, right? Which is, eventually it means that bringing in more people, right, and hence aiding adoption. That's number one. Number two, which I feel is really, really big, is using EEA's database of projects and doing some quantitative original research out of what they are doing, what are their successes, what are their failures, etc. So that's a fabulous job which Tom has done. And the third thing which I feel, which is extremely important, this is giving a reference point to people. So now people can refer to this report and make their business cases. I think that was something which was missing. People used to look for data sources. Oh, where should I go? What should I quote? Now this is giving a solid reference point coming from the EEA, and it is open to the public.
So Tom, what Samrat has said that, what I've picked from the opening remarks is this report is focused on all those individuals who are looking for a solution in this space. And this report's intent to highlight few things which we have picked up, and I want you to just clarify this for our viewers in the simpler format. So the report says that the awareness has been supported by the highly visible success of consumers from the DeFi platforms and NFTs for art and collectibles. So we have been witnessing a boom in 2021 and everyone is aware of the fall which this cryptocurrency market has witnessed. So what is the current situation and what is the plan which the ecosystem is intending and highlighting for all those businesses who are looking to come in this space? Tom, for you.
So it's very interesting. In the course of our research, I heard, especially in the conversations I had with business people who are actually trying to build on Ethereum, we heard over and over again that the example of DeFi, right? For example, the success of Uniswap, and this is the example outside of the market movements, okay? The fact that it works was very, very powerful for the business champions within organizations. I talked to one woman in a very large multinational who said, I've been talking about blockchain for 3 years and nobody understood. When I showed them Uniswap, and this is like the Uber of exchanges, people understood it. So people can see, aha, here's a decentralized here's a decentralized business model that's actually working. And it was the same with NFTs. So our report isn't about NFTs for collectibles, but the fact that this has been very popular and that it's working also for brands has got a lot of people's attention.
Fantastic. Such as, if you can just give a few examples.
Well, so I told the examples of Uniswap and all the DeFi stuff, but you have NFTs for large brands like Marvel, and you have people are seeing the market, right?
Sure. So what Tom is saying that Samrat, there is actually lot. This report is a guide for all those individuals who are looking to step in the ecosystem. What is your thought on this, and how do you suggest by reading this report there can be a broader solutions to all those individuals who are under concern?
Yeah, absolutely. So Manoj, in a way, this is helping businesses make their decisions. This is giving them the right parameters. This is also giving them peer analysis. So let's say if I have a business model which is similar to something which Tom has covered in the report, and he's also and the businesses that Tom has covered are really the top-notch ones. So I would sort of have a path that, this is something which I could achieve. This is what I could do.
All right.
Learning from other people's successes. The other thing which it is also bringing in is, Manoj, just to add another point, which is also the availability of such people within the Ethereum ecosystem. So it sort of gives a very high degree of confidence to people who are building on Ethereum that, these companies have trusted Ethereum and utilizing that technology. And with EA membership, I think that's something which is fantastic with EA that, Tom, Dan, James, they've all been working on connecting businesses together. So
fantastic.
When companies join the EA, they are able to access these people.
So since Tom, we are talking about the entire ecosystem, you're talking about bringing in a lot of new businesses to your entire network. So we are doing it at a time when the merge is actually in process, and the sustainability and performance of the mainnet remains a concern. That's what we are not saying, the report is saying. So Ethereum's high energy use, its relative limited capacity, and high transaction cost surface time and again, and is it set to change? So what are you suggesting the viewers or for those individuals who are looking for a solution by reading this report?
So there are two aspects to that. The sustainability issue should be theoretically completely solved when the merge happens, because Ethereum's energy use, when it moves to proof of stake, should be reduced by something like 99.99%. Now, energy use was a huge blocker for almost everybody we talked to, because people are concerned about sustainability, and there's also huge reputational issues, especially if you're a large multinational or a brand. People associate blockchain with high energy use, and then they say, oh, why are you using this? So that's going to change. In terms of performance, there's two things. First of all, you can get you can use the Ethereum ecosystem in highly performant ways if you use L2s right now. But it's not so straightforward, but you can do that. So the solutions are already there. And over the course of the next 12 to 18 months, when we start getting in sharding and other enhancements to the mainnet, then performance should improve dramatically. But we expect these L2s, these sort of enhancements to the mainnet to stay and continue to be important.
So time and again, this L2, this letter comes to us in a way wherein there is a question mark ahead of it. Samrat, please understand what I'm trying to ask you is, will the layer 2 solutions still exist? Will they work in tandem with what Ethereum's frame of mind or the aggressive nature in which it is coming out after the merge? Will they merge with it? Or you have a different idea?
Sure, Manoj. And this is just my personal opinion, okay? I believe they're definitely going to coexist. Ethereum, I look at Ethereum as the global settlement layer, and the L2s are providing much more value than just a blockchain network. You can now comfortably say just the blockchain network, because while there is the privacy and security and speed via sharding which Ethereum will provide, there are also purpose specific software which L2s are providing. For example, Polygon. Look at Polygon, what it's doing. Recently launched ZK rollups as well. So I think it's a expanding ecosystem, and both of these players will coexist even after the merge.
Tom, your quick view on this, on the layer 2 solutions. Actually people are expecting that layer 2 will vanish. All they have to open a new shop and design something that will help them to earn their bread and butter. So what is your opinion on this?
So I have to agree with Samrat on this one. The conversations and the research we did rather indicated that the L2s are going to stay. There's going to be a room for this either for extra capacity or more for these use case specific chains, right? And you can use L2s. So one of the other trends we saw is sort of a merging of public and private blockchain going forward.
Perfect.
And L2s are going to play a role in that. So you'll be able
Fantastic.
to spin up your own private chain, but still be connected to the mainnet.
Right. So you want to highlight something on the private and the public blockchain comment which Tom has made, Samrat?
Yeah, I think it's Manoj. It's just giving a lot of confidence to businesses to start utilizing blockchain in more ways than we had imagined till now. So
Fantastic.
I think even after the merge, it's a should I call it uphill or downhill? That's something which it remains to be seen. But it's a better journey going forward, definitely.
Are we hinting towards gaining? The dominance at which Bitcoin is currently, will Ethereum surpass that?
That's a question you ask me almost each time. So from a cryptocurrency, purely from a financial value perspective, I don't see, this is again my personal view, I don't see it crossing Bitcoin. Bitcoin is excelling and has been excelling because of different reasons altogether. The kind of people who are holding it or the transaction is used for. Ethereum has an intrinsic value. It is utilized as a utility token, mostly on the Ethereum network, right? So these are not comparable, but yes, from a usage perspective, definitely it has got way more users than what Bitcoin is.
Right. So let's move on to the second segment, Tom, and which is actually highlighting about the observations and trends in the current ecosystem. What are your observations? What is the thought process that has gone in? Because the lion's share of activity is focused on the blockchain and the infrastructure projects. At a time when the financial services related industries and its use cases such as capital market payments and insurance are at maybe second, third or the fourth position. So what is the ecosystem doing to gain the lost ground, and what is the thought process that has gone in? If you can just start that.
So maybe to clarify that, I'm glad to do so. So what we did was we did a sort of we had a survey and we did some research and we collected a database of about 120 projects, but this is a special kind of database. We were focusing on business-oriented projects, either from the vendor side or the adopter side. So not the fintech stuff and not the speculation or finance oriented stuff, really people trying to build. And we tried to use that. We never said it was a definitive collection, but we tried to use it to give us ideas of where the action is on the business side. And there was, obviously no surprise that most of the action is still in infrastructure. So, people building out the Ethereum ecosystem infrastructure, whether it's an L2 or whether it's a development services and stuff like that. And obviously there's still the lion's share of activity in fintech related stuff, whether it's marketplaces. Let me see, you have it right here in front of me. Well, it's marketplaces or similar kind of fintech use cases. But we also saw a lot of action in things like supply chain. Now, there's no surprise. That's been a use case for a very long time. But what we're seeing is these sort of builder use cases starting to take prominence.
You mentioned about supply chain, Tom. Is there any traction in any other segment, such as medical or pharmaceutical, or for that matter, if you can
there's traction, but there's less. The healthcare segment, I think personally, is very, very interesting, and I expect a lot of action there. But it's highly complex because of the privacy issues.
We do understand in business there is a push and pull strategy. So are you trying to pull in all those individuals who are not getting attracted towards you, or you have a different idea?
I would say I never thought of it like that. But I'll go for pull.
It's all about business, Tom.
Yeah. I'll go for the pull strategy in the sense that we're trying to educate and
Fantastic.
Provide clarity, right? Now, one thing, if I may, we didn't talk about in this report, we've developed a business readiness framework. I guess we're going to talk about that in a second. And that's really a decision-making framework to show where are we and for different use cases and where are we in different parameters that businesses would understand. So what we did is after all our discussions and talking to the people who are trying to, building and and the experts and also the consultants, we tried to break down different parts of the ecosystem into a bunch of parameters. So there'll be I gotta take a look here, but things like things you have to think about when you want to build, like network cost or decentralization and security, how that works together, scaling, privacy, sustainability as an issue, usability, interrupt. And we have a set of these, and we explained them, and then we sort of plotted for different business types, where are we today? So for, or what would be the, what criteria would be more or less important for you if you were a corporate, or if you were an SME, or if you were a startup. And then we wanted to introduce this to the community as a way for decision makers to judge for themselves: is my business, is this good for my business and good for my use case? But it's also a way to educate, to understand the different parts of the ecosystem, different parameters of the technology.
Fantastic.
So we think this is something new, and we hope it will be useful.
Something new and useful. That's what the two key words which I've picked from Tom. But Samrat, in business, we say that show me the money. So by following this report or by following this thesis principle, how will one earn money? That is the most important thing, What is actually the way forward, and where are the opportunities? Is this report highlighting those?
So yes, Manoj, I'm definitely excited about the businesses which will be jumping onto the blockchain bus because of this report. So you asked, show me the money and where are the opportunities. So definitely Tom has covered some real life case studies and real interviews of people who've made successful decisions. One way it is helping businesses is it is giving a decision matrix to them, for them to be able to decide, what are the parameters to consider while they are taking their blockchain decisions. What are the, there were some businesses which were on the edge because of the ESG concerns. They have to do their reporting because of the geography where they are. So it's helping them make that decision as well. Second part, which is important, which is an overall EEA initiative, which I see, which is investing heavily on content. So it's you will see a lot of, the same report is also giving out it's educational, Tom had highlighted that also, that is educational also. It's giving a lot of perspective to people. It's sort of helping them synchronize, because, there's a lot of noise out there about blockchain, about crypto in general. So
fantastic.
It's good to hear from the EEA that, here are our perspectives. Here are the EEA official statements about describing something which is related to Ethereum. So you will also see this being followed up by, actually, this was in parallel, right, Tom, which was the EEA primer series.
Yes.
We also do primers, which EEA is another initiative. There's also a super initiative, which I'm also fortunately part of, which is called training quality. So now we are developing a framework for globally managing all training, which is being done for Ethereum and blockchain platforms in general. So courses can come and get qualified. So it's currently being made. That framework is being made. There's a huge working group which is working on it. So what I'm trying to say is that business leaders will be able to make better decisions.
Fantastic.
Related to blockchain.
So
yeah.
So Tom, business leaders can make better decisions. That's what Samrat is saying. All right, we'll take a short break, and when we will return, we will speak more about the Business Readiness Report.